first conference home game of the season for Aurora, and it's a big one, taking on the two-time defending conference tournament champs. It's Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference men's basketball between the Aurora University Spartans and the Wisconsin Lutheran College Warriors. Welcome back. First home game for the Spartans in what feels like quite a while. In fact, you have to go back to the Mickey Johnson Tip-Off Classic, the season opening weekend 3 weeks ago. Spartans are back, looking for their first home conference victory of the season. Our broadcast today is presented in part by BSN Sports. Wear what the Spartans wear. Visit athletics.aurora.edu/getaugear. By Chick-fil-A in Oswego. Eat more chicken. By Kaufman GMC in Aurora, celebrating 75 years of service to Aurora and communities across Chicagoland. Elite Management Properties, offering extensive student housing options around the Aurora University campus. By Raising Cane's in Oswego, One Love. And by Rush Orthopedics and Sports Medicine in Aurora and Yorkville, Fox Valley's premier orthopedic care specialists. Aurora's 3-3 dropped their conference opener at Benedictine all the way back on November 15th, an unusually early conference opener. That one went 87-76 in Lisle for the Eagles. Aurora did play once last week. It was at Asbury, a road trip to Kentucky during the Thanksgiving break. Picked up an 83-80 win behind a monster performance by Devin Richardson, who went for 24 points, 18 rebounds, and Cullen Rawls had his best night as a Spartan with 20 points, getting 9 of those at the free throw line. So a good performance by Aurora to go fully into the break in good spirits. And as they take the floor here, they dribble right by the team that has been the one to beat for a while in the NAC. School record 27 wins a year ago. They reached the Sweet 16, finished number 8 in the D3Hoops.com poll. Ryan Breckel averaged 18 points and nearly 9 rebounds a game. He was the Conference Player of the Year, an All-American, and a Johnston's Award finalist for National Player of the Year. But they return no one from their starting lineup a year ago. They graduated all 5 starters. They do bring 5 off the bench, but only 2 who played more than 9 minutes a game last season. And they are, as it turns out, leading scorers on the current roster. They have won back-to-back games after an 0-4 start. That included a win last Tuesday before the break, 73-61 against Wisconsin Superior. At 73 points, matched their season best in points. The 61 were their fewest allowed. They shot 49% from the floor. That was a season best. And they forced 18 turnovers. Again, a season best. So the Warriors wrap up non-conference play on a very high note, and now will try to extend a winning streak over the Spartans. They've won 9 straight against AU, 6 consecutive by at least 5 possessions. Aurora had won 12 in a row at one point, believe it or not, earlier in this rivalry from 2012 to 2018. Since then, the Warriors have been among the very best in the league. And Aurora has been right there with them on a number of occasions for large parts of the game, but have not been able to stay with them in the second half. They will try to do so tonight in a little more than a minute. We're coming up on the starting lineups and the pregame announcements for game number 7 of the year for AU. This is Aurora University men's basketball. Aurora and Wisconsin Lutheran. I have to go to the corrections department here. Wisconsin Lutheran, 3-time defending league champions, not back-to-back defending tournament champions. They didn't win it last year. St. Norbert knocked them off. Warriors picked up an at-large bid. Won the conference tournament in 2024. My point stands. They've been doing a lot of winning in the NAC. That's the opponent tonight for the Spartans. Let's pause for the national anthem. Aurora and Wisconsin Lutheran, our matchup tonight in NAC men's basketball. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Warriors of Wisconsin Lutheran College, it's Aaron Annenson in year 9 with the Warriors. And it is Jaquel Chisholm and Lucas Anamdu, who are the two players for the Warriors who are the largest returning portions of the rotation a year ago. And Chisholm's off to a great start, 13.5 points and a top 10 rebounding mark at 7.5. Anamdu, 10.5 points, and he leads the team with a couple of assists. So the sophomore Anamdu from Buffalo Grove and the senior Chisholm from Milwaukee will be joined by a sophomore from Heartland, Wisconsin, Sam Hans, a junior out of Cedarburg, Wisconsin, Trey Leering, and a senior from Jackson, Wisconsin, Austin Wagner. Chisholm, Anamdu, Hans, Leering, and Wagner, the lineup for the 2 and 4 Warriors. They'll be wearing a black uniform tonight and moving right to left across your screen. White numbers in the Wisconsin Lutheran Knight logo on the front of the uniform. Steve Christensen is in year 4 with the Aurora University Spartans. He has AU off to a 3-3 start, and they're looking for their first conference win tonight. Now, Devin Richardson, what can you say? 10th in the NAC, just under 15 points per game. He's 4th in the league at 8.5 assists. His 67% shooting percentage entered the week in the top 15 in the nation. He has been terrific, the junior from Hazel Crest, Illinois. It's been a nice start as well for Juan Madrigal, the junior from Peoria, 11.5 points, 4.5 rebounds. And the junior from Rockford, Makai Doby's averaging north of 12 points per game. And after having a career best 20 against Wisconsin Whitewater, held to only 3 against Asbury. He'll look for a bounce back tonight. Colin Rawls, a terrific night for the junior from Fall River, Wisconsin against Asbury. A 20-point effort for him. And he'll be joined by Jeffrey Hilmer, who had a season best 11 in the win over Asbury. He is a 6'4 junior from Sycamore, Illinois. So again, the lineup for Aurora: Richardson, Madrigal, Rawls, Doby, and Hilmer. Aurora moving left to right across your screen, wearing white uniforms, blue numbers outlined in green, and Aurora in script on the front. I'm Sean Fry. Isaac Perez is our technical director. Xavier Zuckley handling our camera duties today. Aurora wins the tip, and let's get it started. First NAC contest of the year here at Thornton Gymnasium. Immediately driving to the rim, Makai Doby, wasting no time shaking off the performance against Asbury. 2-0 AU immediately. They pick up Wisconsin Lutheran full. The Warriors handle it, and Chisholm misses from deep. Well, in 30 seconds, Aurora scores quickly, and fortunate to get a miss at the other end on a wide open look. They take back over and go into a half-court offense. Man defense for the Warriors as Rawls takes it and hands it off on the wing for Hilmer. It's worked up top into the hands of Doby and now to Madrigal. Top of the arc with 5 to shoot. 3 from the wing. Rawls splashes it through. It's a very good start for Aurora. Couple of shots, couple of buckets, and a 5-0 lead through a minute. Into the hands of Wagner as Aurora is into a man defense on their end of the floor. Anamdu around the arc to Hans on the wing. He'll throw it inside. A good pass to Anamdu, who lays it in for the Warriors' first bucket. Aurora pulls it right out of the nylon and hustles it back up the floor and gets into their half-court offense. Doby gets a screen from Richardson, who rolls away. Doby shook him, then threw it underneath to Richardson, who went underneath the basket. He made the right decision using the basket to defend really from being contested and then didn't get enough on the shot. It ended up being tipped out of bounds. Probably one Richardson would like back. He seemed a little bit confused at how that could happen. We're going to run the shot clock down to 13 as the ball didn't touch the rim, so it's not a reset. To check with the table on when the last basket was so they could set the clock accordingly. But it is still Aurora ball. Madrigal will toss it in. Previously been at Kennedy King. It's very good from outside there. He picks the ball up the top of the arc, looking to get into the lane, pulls up from 12 and gets the friendly roll. Back iron, glass and in, 7-2 Aurora. A minute 45 in. Once again, Aurora with full court pressure, not a trap. This time as Anamdu's over the timeline. Wagner screens for him. The ball's pushed to the wing for Leering. Guarded by Rawls. It finds its way into the hands of Hans, who gets into the lane, dishes it up top. Chisholm driving and was stuffed by Doby, but took a lot of body contact at the rim and will go to the line. Not a lot of protest from Doby, who knew it. I think the block was all ball. It was all the body below it that was the problem, and it puts Chisholm at the stripe. 8 of 13 of the line this season. He'll knock the first one through. Averaged 15 minutes a game a year ago. Even got into the starting lineup a couple of times. He was a 79% free throw shooter a year ago while averaging just under 8 per game. He'll make the second, and it's 7-4. 17:54 remaining in the first half. The Warriors briefly try to trap the inbound, but pull that off quickly, and Rawls walks over the timeline with a second to spare on the shot clock. Ball up top. Here's Madrigal. Gets a screen from Richardson. Floats it into the lane for him, and now outside to Doby. 5 to shoot. Doby gets to the cup, lays it in. Wisconsin Lutheran with an answer at the other end. And here comes Doby. Ball's underneath to Richardson. He got turned around under the basket, was able to lob it up there and get it to fall through. 11-6 Aurora, a little more than 3 minutes in. In the lane, Hans. Tried a baseline pass. Rawls cut it off. Ahead in transition to Hilmer, who never cleanly secured the ball, so he didn't travel. He was underneath and just laid it right back in. So here's Zarek Johnson, the freshman from Chicago, former third-team All-State selection for the St. Lawrence Vikings. He's in for his first minutes as Dobie goes off. Anamdu is in the lane, try to lean her, it didn't fall. Aurora has the rebound. 13-6 Aurora, nearly 4 minutes in. Madrigal calling for a screen. He goes to the right of it, gets to the block, left it short, got his own board, put it right back. Aurora 7 of 8 from the floor to start the game. They have a 9-point lead. You could not ask for a better start than Aurora has had so far. Wagner ball in his hands on the far wing. Short pass to Leering in the same spot. Up top, Anamdu and now to Chisholm. He shuffles to the elbow, pulls up for 2 and missed. Rebound Karam to Anamdu and a second chance coming for the Warriors. Hans to Wagner. Wagner from the far elbow missed the jumper. Leering got in for the rebound, put it back. Well, 3 chances for Wisconsin Lutheran is usually going to end in points. And it does here. Aurora quickly back the other way. Hilmer goes baseline, draws the foul, and he'll have a couple of free throws coming up after the under 16 officials timeout. 15-19 left in the first half. 15-8 Spartans. This is Aurora University men's basketball. Well, not much to be upset about on the Aurora sideline. -1 3-shot possession against. 7 shots made on 9 attempts, including the only 3 ball. It's been a great start for Aurora and a 15-8 lead with 15-19 to play in the first. Leering picked up the foul for Wisconsin Lutheran, and it puts Hilmer on the line. He's 3 for 5 on the year. Hilmer tees up the first, splashes it. Aurora has Wisconsin Lutheran doubled up here early. This has been what Aurora has done really well this season. That is get to the free throw line. Second one's good. They're second in the league in the top 10 in the nation. They average 21 free throw makes a game on 31 attempts. They only trail Rockford in the conference in that area. Here's a drive and a high miss. Offensive board and a putback for Bryce Apple, the freshman, who checked in at the last stoppage. Bryden, Grismola, and Dobie, the latter returning for Rawls and Madrigal at the last stoppage for Aurora. So Grismola, Johnson are out on the perimeter with Dobie. Richardson and Hilmer remain in the game. That's the 5 for Aurora. Dobie's out on the perimeter, up top to Johnson, steps into a 3, knocks that in. 17-10 Aurora. Dom Hill, the junior, into the game for Wisconsin Lutheran. Leering stays in the game. Isaiah Mellick, a freshman, has checked in. Apple at the basket earlier, launches a 3 and misses. Rebound got knocked down to Chisholm, who missed in tight. And then the follow from Mellick is good. It's another 3-shot possession against. And it results in 2 points. A little bit of misfortune that time for Aurora. Grismola goes baseline on the other end for Aurora, was cut off and floats it out to Dobie. He attacks and dishes. Hilmer steps around a closeout, gets to the cup, lays it in. And Aaron Annenson has seen enough. It's 22-12 Aurora, a 30-second timeout with 13:55 remaining in this first half. Our broadcast here this evening is presented in part by BSN Sports, by Chick-fil-A in Oswego, by Kaufman GMC in Aurora, Elite Management Properties, Raising Cane's in Oswego, and Rush Orthopedics and Sports Medicine in Aurora and Yorkville. Plenty of action around the NAC getting underway tonight. Aurora's next opponent is Illinois Tech. They're on the road at Lakeland. Concordia, Wisconsin visiting Marion. Falcons, the preseason pick to win the league. MSOE's home to Dominican. Edgewood's on the road at Concordia, Chicago. And St. Norbert at Rockford tonight. Everyone in the NAC is in action. Benedictine, the only one not playing a league game. They are in Oshkosh, taking on Wisconsin Oshkosh. Who else? Non-conference play. 22-12 Spartans, 13:55 left in the first half. Aurora picking up Warriors full. They beat it easily with one pass, and then Chisholm gets to the rim and missed in tight. Apparently went off of Hilmer and out, and we'll see some changes. So Rawls and Madrigal back in. Hilmer, Johnson, and Grismala head off, and it is the Aurora debut for the Walbounsie Valley High School alum Josh Tinney, a freshman who was the point guard for the regional champion Warriors last season. It was a very good Walbounsie Valley team. So his first appearance. Ball's into the hands of Hill, who's guarded by Tinney. He'll kick to Leering back into the game for three. (22-15). Full court pressure doesn't work out so well. Ball gets underneath to Richardson, who missed in tight. Rebound for the Warriors. Back the other way to the rim. Hill, no. Couple of tips, still no. And Madrigal just went up and took the rebound away. He heads the other way in transition. Pulls up at the free throw line. The foul and one on the jumper. A foul on Melick. And Madrigal to the stripe for the and one. 24-15 Aurora, 13-14 to play here in the first half. Here is Larry Carthen, junior out of Chicago, replacing Richardson. Madrigal at 77% at the free throw line. Second best mark on the team. He'll complete the three-point play and put Aurora up by 10. Matches their largest lead tonight. They will not apply full court pressure as Chisholm brings the ball up. Apple's on the wing. He'll leave it for Leering, who works the ball up top. Hill trying to get downhill. Tries the turnaround in the lane, and a tough shot, and it goes. Hill didn't play at all last season. He did average 12 minutes a game as a freshman, averaged just under 5 points, showing some range on the last sequence. So an 8-point Aurora lead. Tinney with the ball in his hands. Starts it around the arc, into the corner for Madrigal. Cut off on the baseline. He'll pitch it out to Doby on the wing. 7 to shoot. Doby, the jump stop in the lane, left the runner short. Rebound for Hill, and he's fouled. Second team foul on Aurora. Second personal foul on Doby. And he will head to the bench as Zarek Johnson will check back in. Aurora 25-17. The inbound pass was a mess. It was into the feet of Hill, and he's very lucky that that went off of him and off of an Aurora player. The Warriors keep it and will inbound in front of their bench. A much cleaner inbound pass. And it's pushed ahead from Melick to Chisholm. He goes up on Madrigal. Chest-to-chest contact, a good no call. A really good finish for Chisholm. It brings the Warriors within 2 possessions. And then Aurora doesn't get it out of their own backcourt. Johnson dished it to Rawls. He took his eye off the catch to see who was coming and dropped it out of bounds. So the ball is in. Apple picks it up, top of the arc. Fed out to Hill, guarded tightly. And now it's Leering who has Tinney all over him. 5 to shoot. Tinney peeled off his man to try to pick Melick and crashed into him for Aurora's third foul. 11:53 remaining in the first. That brings us to the under 12 timeout. Aurora cooling off in that second sequence, but still up 25-19 midway through the first half. This is Aurora University men's basketball. (25-19) Aurora in front here in NAC men's basketball, leading Wisconsin Lutheran. Maybe the best 4 minutes of the season for Aurora a few moments ago. Wisconsin Lutheran battling back here between the two media timeouts so far, and they have the ball. Melick getting into the lane. He was followed by Carthen, and then the pass was picked off. Madrigal just cutting it off on the baseline. Third Warriors turnover. And a zone look for Wisconsin Lutheran this time as they get into a 2-3. Rawls is on the wing. Aurora staying patient on the perimeter. Pass floated to Tinney on the far sideline. They'll spin it into the corner for Johnson. Driving baseline and drawing the foul. So Aaron Annenson trying to give Aurora a different look. Aurora patient, and Apple ends the possession, giving the foul. Putting Johnson on the stripe, second in the league at 89%. 23 of 26 on the season. He'll knock in the first. Well, look, you don't score 1,000 points in your high school career without being able to make them at the line. And he certainly did. Carthen and Tinney head to the bench, so let's reset the Aurora lineup. Richardson and Hilmer back in. Rawls and Madrigal remain, and of course Johnson at the stripe finishes knocking in a couple of free throws. Aurora up 27-19. Rawls nearly stole the inbound. He had it in his hand, threw it back in, couldn't find a Spartan. And then on the second attempt, Rawls ends up getting a foul, trying to get it right back. It's the fourth Aurora team foul with 11:13 to play in the half. Aurora forces a bad dribble from Anamdu, who was suddenly between four players and put it right off his toe and into the Lutheran bench. So another turnover for Wisconsin Lutheran. They go zone again. Hilmer was in the lane, missed. Richardson, the rebound, missed again. Hilmer gets a third. He'll find Madrigal, who hoists the three. Didn't even find the rim. Richardson gets another rebound. This is the fourth try. Rawls gets to the rim and draws the foul. That's the second on Apple and the fourth Warriors team foul. Well, credit to Aurora. When you're not making shots for whether it's one sequence or several sequences, you can always crash the boards. And Aurora doing a good job, and it puts another good free throw shooter in Cullen Rawls to the line. He'll make the first. He's at 71%, shot 80% from the stripe last season at Madison College. A few changes for the Warriors here will reset their lineup with 10:49 left in the first. After Rolls attempts the second and knocks that in as well. Hans back into the game. Anamdu, Leering, Ephraim Albers has the ball. He just checks in, and Hill still on the floor. He goes around Richardson, goes baseline, hits the reverse. 29-21. Rolls over the timeline. Madrigal left open for three, puts it up, knocks it in. Madrigal came in as Aurora's leading three-point shooter at 36%. Cannot give him that kind of space. And he puts Aurora up by 11. That is their largest lead. Anamdu, the drive and kick. Hans for three, and the answer, no. Strange rebound comes to Leering underneath. That's Albers who missed in tight. Ball is tied up as Hilmer got there, and a foul call. Possession arrow would have been to Wisconsin Lutheran, but Hans fouled Hilmer first, and that's the fifth Warriors team foul. We are a second past the midway point. 9:59 left in the first. Aurora up 32-21. They're shooting 61% from the floor. Johnson with the ball on the far side. A handoff to Hilmer in the corner. To Johnson where he had been standing. Long pass, not enough on it. And Leering with the steal. In transition to the rim. Left-handed finish. Brings the Warriors back within 3 possessions. Have to be assertive if you're going to throw it width of the floor. Aurora will look for an answer as the Warriors still in that 2-3 zone. Rolls! Just rocks Albers to sleep and slips by him. And the finish at the rim gives Rawls 7. AU back by 11. Hilmer is all over Hill. I don't know how that wasn't a foul, but he gets a pick. A loose ball comes to Madrigal. Well, credit to Hilmer, who was as physical as he could get away with. Another cross-court pass. That had a lot more on it, but was well read by Hans. So we'll see Alex Ross, the junior from Terre Haute, Indiana, replace Johnson for Aurora, and Hill will go to the bench. As Pierce Arns, the sophomore from Kiel, Wisconsin, has swapped in for the visitors. 8:51 left in the first. 34-23 Spartans. Rawls walks it near the logo and now up to the top of the arc. He sizes up Arns, spins to the cup, left it short. Hilmer able to stay with that to get the rebound. And then a pass out to Ross was tipped and is out on Wisconsin Lutheran. There's 2 seconds on the shot clock after that last sequence. So Aurora is going to have to dial up a quick play. Ross picks it up. He has to get the shot off. Didn't know the clock was running down and did not get it off in time. So the lead's still 11, 34-23. Anamdu will leave it for Hans, who dribbles to the block, tries a really tough jumper, falling toward the baseline and away from the rim, and he got it. That's not the ideal shot, but it did go. And now Madrigal, beating full court pressure, got into the lane and threw it away. Steve Christensen not pleased as Pierce Arns goes the other way. Drives and then kicks. Leering for 3, missed. And the rebound for Richardson, who steps to relative safety, hands it off to Madrigal and now to Rawls on the back pass, who jogs it over the timeline. The Warriors coming out to force the Spartans' hand. They stay in that 2-3. Rawls tried to pick and roll with Richardson, and the pass was behind Richardson and out of bounds. 7:40 left in the first, 34-25. Aurora in front. Had some chances to extend the lead in that last sequence and weren't able to do it. It'll be Warriors ball when we come back. This is Aurora University men's basketball. Aurora 12 of 20 from the floor and have made all 7 of their free throw attempts, 3 of 4 from 3. It's really hard to be critical of Aurora's play. There have been a few sequences they'd like back. Probably left a little meat on the bone in that last sequence of possessions, but still a very good start. They force a miss from Chisholm, and then Richardson is fouled by Hans on the rebound. That is Wisconsin Lutheran's final foul to give, number 6 here of the half. Lineup for Aurora: Richardson, Hilmer, Ross, Rawls, and here's Robert Hudson, the sophomore from Bourbonnais, into the contest for Aurora. Warriors lineup is Wagner, Ben Lubbers, Chisholm, Anamdu, and Leering. Full court pressure for the Warriors. Aurora handles that. Ross comes into the game. Well, he's been in the game, I should say. Gets the ball inside the timeline, gives it away. Hilmer here on the near wing, cross court pass. Was watching hockey last night, folks. Here's a 3 from Ross. No good. Rebound for Anamdu. That would make things interesting, wouldn't it? Trying to play hoops on ice. Here's Leering on the drive. It's good. 34-27. He shoots and scores. That's what we're going for. As long as I don't start calling the rim the post, we're going to be okay. Here's Hudson. Rawls here on the near wing. Walks to the free throw line, goes into a runner and get the friendly roll, but he did get the friendly touch as it goes off of Lubbers and out. Aurora will have it with 20 to shoot. Ross out, Grismala back in for Aurora. They lead by 7, by as many as 11. Rawls trying to get the ball in, and he does to Hilmer just in front of the 5-second clock. Hilmer sizing up Lubbers. He'll pass it away to Grismala, who's on the wing. Now Richardson to the top of the arc. He sets a screen for Grismala into a mid-range jumper, left it short. Richardson went up, got the rebound. He tried to put the shot up. They called him for a travel. I'm not sure that I saw him try to get up. Now, you can't slide on the floor either. That would have been a tough call. You really can't do anything. I thought he did what he needed to do to not get the travel call, but I guess not. So Wagner for Wisconsin Lutheran gets to the rim. He misses. And Aurora secures the rebound. Rawls into the lane. Lobbed it up for Richardson. And they weren't able to connect. It's out of bounds off Aurora. Spartans have gotten sped up a little bit. I don't know that they've needed to do it here in this sequence either. We'll see Rawls head to the bench. Looks like Madrigal back in for Aurora here with 5:51 left in the first. 34-27 Spartans. Melik up and good. All as close as Wisconsin Lutheran's been in a while. It's a 5-point game. Aurora hasn't scored in more than 3.5 minutes. A 6-0 run in that stretch. Grismala with the drive. Contested. No good. Chisholm heads the other way for the Warriors. He tries to break down Madrigal. Pulls up at the elbow. Left the jumper short. Rebound off of a finger was tipped. Ball's on the floor. Swarming to it. And a timeout called by Annenson. Good awareness by Annenson on the visitors' bench. It'll be 15 to shoot for Wisconsin Lutheran. This will be a 30-second timeout. So they'll discuss. 5:11 to play here in the first. Let's briefly take a look at how things are going around the conference. And we will start with St. Norbert, who won the conference tournament a year ago. It is Rockford in front currently, 25-19 with 2:19 to play in the first. Keeping it with the Illinois schools. Dominican trailing MSOE. Under 3 to play in the first half, 38-25. And the final Illinois school in action, it's Concordia Chicago. They're down 28-6. I shouldn't say they're down. In fact, they're very much ahead, 28-16, with under 5 to play in the first half. We'll check in on some of the other scores. Oh, there's one more, Illinois Tech. They're at Lakeland today. And that's 43-31 Scarlet Hawks. 6 to shoot for Wisconsin Lutheran. Here's Mellick looking for space. He gets into the lane, and he took advantage of a hook and is called for it, the 7th team foul on Wisconsin Lutheran. Spartans lineup is Carthen, who's just checked in, Hudson, Madrigal, Johnson, and Hilmer. Apple has returned to the game for Wisconsin Lutheran. Mellick, Lubbers, Chisholm, and Leering are the 5. Long pass underneath for Carthen, who ended up being pinned to the end line and stepped out of bounds. 8th Aurora turnover. Steve Christensen up off the bench, not looking especially thrilled with the last few minutes of play. Aurora hasn't scored for 4.5 minutes. They led by as many as 11, and it looked like there was very little that they could do wrong. They now haven't been able to find the bottom of the net. Here's a miss from Chisholm, no good. Aurora gets the rebound. So now Aurora a chance to turn the tables. Hand off to Hilmer. He'll kick it to the corner. The zone defense now into a man look for Wisconsin Lutheran. Madrigal is fouled. Aaron Annenson not looking like he's in a great deal of agreement, and it'll put Madrigal on the line for the 1-and-1. 8th team foul, Wisconsin Lutheran. We'll see Hilmer and Hudson go to the bench. I think Hilmer staying in the game. Rawls entered. I think Hilmer just discussing with Steve Christensen as they try to talk their way through this last sequence. There's Madrigal, who made a couple earlier, makes the first here. Or more accurately, he made an and one earlier. Now he's made a couple. He gets the bonus free throw to make it a 3-possession game and makes that as well. 36-29, 4:16 left in the first. So Hill in the backcourt has 4 to get it over the timeline, and he does. Hill hands it off. There's Lubbers, who gets downhill, leaves it to Chisholm, who attacks the rim, and a really good look to find Apple, who rolled over to the block, wide open for 2. All the help defense has to leave somebody open, and Chisholm with the good vision makes it 36-31. 3:45 left before halftime. Madrigal, a spin move, and the J. Aurora back by 7. Warriors cleanly pick the full court defense, and then the swat for Cullen Rawls chasing the play. And with 3:32 left, that'll bring us to our final media timeout of the first half. Aurora's been very good protecting the rim. They're 4.5 blocks per game, our second best in the league. They get their first stuff of the night and lead by 7 late in the first. This is Aurora University men's basketball. Wisconsin Lutheran ball out of the media timeout. 3:32 to play in the first half. It's Aurora up 38-31. The inbound comes to Chisholm, who tries to back down Hilmer, then into a fall away, and it's good. Chisholm has 6. Trey Leering leading all Warriors with 11. He's made 5 buckets for them so far. Juan Madrigal leading Aurora and all players with 14. Here's Rawls. Into the lane, kicks it out to Madrigal. Lubbers comes to get him. Richardson out for a screen. Madrigal doesn't need it. Heaves the 3. It's good. 17 for Madrigal. Now Madrigal had struggled a bit from the floor in the past couple of games. He is 6 of 8 tonight. Aurora back up by 8. Here's Chisholm, deep 3, too strong. Richardson goes up, pulls it down. 7 boards for Richardson. He had 18 against Asbury. Well, he's doing his part on that end of the floor. Johnson takes the screen, spins to the cup, and gets to the line. That's the final foul for Wisconsin Lutheran, as that's number 9, so it'll be 2 shots from here on out. And 2 more for Johnson, who knocked in a couple earlier. Rawls, Madrigal, Hilmer, Richardson, and Johnson the 5 right now. The freshman makes the first toss. Wisconsin Lutheran will have Hill into the game, Anamdu, Albers, Chisholm, and Lubbers. Hill gave the foul a moment ago. That put Johnson on the line. He makes both free throws, and Aurora has it back into double digits. 2:19 left before halftime. Anamdu guarded tightly by Hilmer. And now around the arc it goes. Hill has it, gets to the free throw line, and works it out beyond the perimeter. Chisholm to the baseline. He was cut off there. 12 to shoot as he attacks again. Hilmer stayed with him. I mean, Hilmer can't do much more than that. That's really good by Jaquel Chisholm, who has 8. It hasn't been the most efficient. Now 3 for 10 with the last 2. I've seen him get in the rhythm. Aurora moving the ball well in the perimeter. Here's Johnson driving off a closeout. Got to the rim and he was blocked by Lubbers. And Lubbers apparently touched it while standing out of bounds. So a fortunate break for Aurora, with 11 seconds on the shot clock and 1:39 remaining in the half. Rawls has to get it in and does. He gets it right back on the inbound for 3. Good. 46-35, 90 seconds to play in the half. Rawls has 10. What a first half for Aurora, and this even with outscoring for nearly 5 minutes of it. Chisholm for 2 more from the high post. Brings it to 9. And Wisconsin Lutheran hasn't shot it that poorly. 17 of 35. You would think they'd be in a better spot, but just 1 of 8 from outside, and they're -9 at the free throw line. Madrigal off a screen right into a 3, airballed it, but it came right down to Hilmer. Great pass, and Hilmer lays it back in. 51 seconds. Aurora back up by 11. Anamdu brings it ahead. Rawls is guarding him. Pass off the mark to Lubbers, but he brings it back in. Now Chisholm going to work on Hilmer. Draws the foul on the jump shot. You know, again, and Hilmer is bleeding, has to go off here. I did wonder in real time how that's not an offensive foul on Chisholm, but it is worth noting that getting to the line is an art. And Chisholm evidently got the elbow up, and Hilmer is going to need some treatment. So that's actually going to bring Chisholm off the floor. I think Chisholm may have lost a contact lens, is what it appears. So they're going to come over and allow him to get that done. And that'll give Hilmer a chance to try to get patched up. He may have taken an elbow to the eyebrow, and that's where the current issue is. Oh, it was head-to-head contact. There we go. We can see that Chisholm's getting a little bit of treatment on the forehead as well. So my initial thought was it was a contact lens. Seeing what appeared to be contact solution come out. And maybe that is still the case, but I think the more pressing issue is trying to get everyone patched up here. Hilmer's had to come out of the game. It looks like Robert Hudson has replaced him. Chisholm's going to the line for a couple of free throws after the 5th Aurora team foul, and Hilmer's rather painful first. So right now we're just pausing to get everybody put back together here. Well, I wondered in real time how Chisholm didn't get an offensive foul, and now I know. So now they're bringing the players back. I don't know exactly what this is about now. The officiating crew is now discussing something. Well, we don't have it, but you can go ahead and imagine the Jeopardy tune in your head. That's where we're at here at this moment. Well, this is a little more time to see if Jeffrey Hilmer might be able to return here before the half. It's an unfortunate sequence. Eventually, when this is all said and done, Chisholm is going to go to the line. Juan Madrigal leads all players with 17. Colin Rawls is 10. Hilmer now on the bench, 8 points. He also has 5 rebounds. Madrigal is 4, and Devin Richardson 2 points and a game-high 6 boards at this moment. Zarek Johnson has 7 points, including making all 4 at the line. Aurora is 11 of 11 at the line. They came in at 67%. So they'd been getting to the line a lot and leaving a little bit on the table, and that was an area that head coach Steve Christensen was looking for improvement in. He was looking for more consistency and improving at the line, not turning the ball over as much as they have here through the first handful of games. And the turnover is probably still a little bit higher than he would like, but well, you can't do better than perfect at the free throw line, so that's certainly an area he'll be pleased with. Trey Leering, 11 points. That's already matched the career high for the junior. Leads Wisconsin Lutheran. Jaquel Chisholm has 10, and he'll have a chance to add to that here in a moment. No one else with more than 4 for the Warriors. So what they were doing was going to the video to see if there was potentially a foul on Chisholm that would have been a flagrant. There was not, and he goes to the line but misses the first free throw. Well, whenever there's head-to-head contact, it certainly seems to suggest that that was not on purpose. But the officials making sure that they have that conversation. Second free throw's good. It's a 10-point game, 38.7 seconds left. So there you go, 8.7 between shot and game clock. Rawls will bring it forward and is over the timeline. He feeds Richardson just at the top of the key. Richardson stops and underhands a pass to Johnson, who walks to the wing. There's 12 to shoot. Rawls up top now. Step back 3 on the crossover and missed. Rebounds loose. It's Johnson who couldn't get it back up and over. 8 left as Chisholm has the rebound. He gets a handoff right into a 3 at the horn. It's short. Mellick was able to run onto one and get one final look, but didn't get it anywhere close to the rim. Nevertheless, Aurora, could they be leading by more? Probably. Will they be happy with the first 20? I would think they would be. 48-38 is the score. Aurora leading Wisconsin Lutheran at halftime. The totals and a look around the NAC coming up. This is Aurora University men's basketball. A good first half for the Aurora University men's basketball team. They lead Wisconsin Lutheran 48-38 here through 20 minutes at Thornton Gymnasium. Sean Fry with you here. Isaac Perez is our technical director. Xavier Zuckley on the camera work. Our broadcast today is presented in part by BSN Sports. Wear what the Spartans wear. Visit athletics.aurora.edu/getau gear. By Chick-fil-A in Oswego. Eat more chicken. By Kaufman GMC in Aurora, celebrating 75 years of service to Aurora and communities across Chicagoland. By Elite Management Properties, offering extensive student housing options around the Aurora University campus. By Raising Cane's in Oswego, One Love. And by Rush Orthopedics and Sports Medicine in Aurora and Yorkville, Fox Valley's premier orthopedic care specialists. Let's take a look at those first half totals, and this is with Aurora not scoring for nearly 5 minutes at one point. 16 of 32 from the floor, 5 of 8 from 3, and perfect on 11 tries at the line. Wisconsin Lutheran, a very respectable 47% from the floor. Just 1 of 9 from deep, though, and 3 of 4 at the line. Rebounds were in favor of Aurora, 20-15, plus 1 on the offensive glass. Aurora 8 turnovers to 5 for Wisconsin Lutheran. 17 points for Juan Madrigal, leads all players. For Aurora, he added 4 assists. 10 points for Cullen Rawls. Both of them made a couple of threes. And Jeffrey Hilmer added 8 points, 5 rebounds. 7 points for Zarek Johnson. 4 for Makai Doby, who was in foul trouble. And a couple for Devin Richardson, along with a game-high 6 rebounds to this point. 11 apiece for Jaquel Chisholm and Trey Leering, the latter already a career high for Wisconsin Lutheran. Then 4 apiece for Dom Hill, Isaiah Mellick, and Bryce Apple, and a couple each for Lucas Anamdu and Sam Hans. That's how they look through 20 minutes here at Thornton. Let's go around the NAC, and we'll start with the only non-conference game of the night. Benedictine trailing 17th-ranked Wisconsin Oshkosh at halftime, 41-32. Brandon McCoy leads the Eagles with 11 points. In conference play tonight, St. Norbert leads Rockford 35-31. They are 4 minutes into the second half in what has become a tight one up in Rockford. 37-26 the score. Concordia Chicago leads Edgewood in River Forest tonight. They are into the second half as well. In Milwaukee, they're 5 minutes into the second half. MSOE leads Dominican 58-43. Mason DePirac, 17 points, leads all players for the Raiders. It's Marion in Fond du Lac leading Concordia Wisconsin 45-39 as Andrew Ianni has 11 points and Derek Lindert has 10 to lead the Sabres. Logan Landers, 14 for the Falcons, but right now they trail. And finally, it's all Illinois Tech on the road at Lakeland, 60-44. Nicholas Ortiz, 15 points on 7 of 7 from the field, leads the Scarlet Hawks. Sanjay Hunter has 13 for the Muskies, who are needing a rally over the final 15 minutes in Plymouth. So those are your scores. Starters for Aurora on the floor: Rawls, Madrigal, Hilmer, Doby, and Richardson. For the Warriors, their starters: Anamdu, Chisholm, Hans, Leering, and Wagner. The visitors have the ball. They're wearing black, moving left to right. Aurora wearing white uniforms, going right to left here after halftime. Ball is on the baseline. That is Wagner with it in the lane. Tries the fall away, left it short. Richardson has the rebound, then lost it. Ends up with Wagner, lays it in for his first points. And Mellick, by the way, is in, not Hans, to start the second half for Wisconsin Lutheran. We're now down 48-40. Rawls on the logo, walks off of it as he dribbles with his left hand. Takes a look, floats a pass to Madrigal on the baseline, who's doubled. Takes a handoff from Richardson on a quick give and go. Now moves to his right, and an offensive foul. That's a moving screen on Richardson. his first, team's first. So Aurora didn't score the final minute of that first half, and they'll go scoreless in the first minute of the second. 3 from Leering, not a lot there. Well, Leering's had a very good first half, and sometimes you want to see if it's going to keep going. Not that time. Aurora throws the inbound away. Doby with the hustle play. He ends up in the Warriors bench and saves it. Aurora gets the ball, and they will have the ball at their own end after the drive went out of Rawls' hand. How about the play by Makai Doby? He even got a pat on the back from San Hans on the Wisconsin Lutheran bench. Well, that's the kind of hustle that you need to be able to win games against opponents like Lutheran, who have been at the top of the league for a while. Here's a foul on the floor. Richardson laid it in. A whistle beforehand on Wagner. Richardson trying to assert himself a little more offensively in this game. He didn't get a lot of looks. He missed one early where he seemed to lose track of where he was underneath the hoop. Never really got into a rhythm after that. We'll see if he does here over the final 20. Doby's out the top of the arc. He gets a screen from Richardson. Now tries to get to the rack. It's not there, so he'll throw it out to the wing for Hilmer. He gets it back. A ball fake and a drive, and the finger roll goes. Well, Doby came out flying to start this game, and then the quick foul trouble meant that he ended up only playing 6 minutes in the first half. He comes out flying again. It's a couple of points, puts Aurora back up by 10. 18-13, ball out of bounds off Aurora under the Wisconsin Lutheran basket. Inbound for Chisholm, never really handled it clean, and Richardson tapped it out of bounds. Inbound for Wagner, who wants the long 2 and gets it. 50-42. All the metrics don't love that shot, but it went. Doby with the ball in his hands on the far sideline. He'll deal to Rawls. 3 in rhythm, front iron. Madrigal throws it back in. It's loose. Rawls shovels it underneath for Hilmer. Another hustle play for Aurora. Ends up in 2 points, but the other way in transition, and Chisholm missed underneath. Thrown down the floor to Rawls, who lays it in and 1. Oh my goodness, what a sequence. And Aurora's up by a dozen for the first time tonight, and potentially one more coming. So right before that, a scramble play that Rawls had to really sell out to keep in. He threw it right underneath the Wisconsin Lutheran basket to Hilmer. There's another turnover as the full court pressure bothers Wisconsin Lutheran. After all that, the Warriors got a great look moving the ball up the court quickly. Chisholm went up, and I think he wanted to dunk and realized he wasn't going to be able to. Went to a layup instead and missed it. Aurora quickly heaved it down the floor. Now, Rawls missed the and 1 a moment ago, but Aurora gets it right back. Here's Madrigal for 3. That was off the line the whole way, and Chisholm has the rebound. 17-12 left in the second half. Aurora up 54-42. Here is Anamdu to the free throw line and splashes it. Here is Doby over the timeline and lost it on the dribble, but it was tipped out of bounds by Melick. So we'll see Aurora make a change here. Madrigal going to the bench here. So the 5 for Aurora will be Rawls, Doby, Richardson, Hilmer, and Johnson, who's checked in and is standing on the wing. Into the post, Richardson. That's what Aurora wants to do to get him going. He towers over. Wisconsin Lutheran defender lays it in for a couple. Aurora back by a dozen. Anamdu bringing it ahead. He's on the floor with Wagner, Leering, Mellick, and Chisholm. Here's Chisholm off a screen for three. It's good. Chisholm with 14. Matched his career high with 20 last week against Wisconsin Superior. It was his second straight 20-point game. And the lead is 9. To the short corner for Richardson, who faces up on Wagner, picks up his dribble and will give it up to Doby. Richardson screens for him. Doby into a high post jumper. No good that time. Mellick with the rebound. Here is Wagner into a high post jumper. That's good. 56-49. We are 4.5 minutes into the second half. Johnson with a great look, floated a pass to Rawls going baseline. He lays it in. Spartans back by 9. Here's Leering. He got to the block and walked up the lane and hit the rhythm jumper. 58-51. And Rawls sprinting around Anamdu right to the rim. The scoop goes. Oh, that's a tough shot. And it's a 9-point lead. And Mellick tried to get to the rim. It was blocked. Doby throws the pass down to the timeline. No-look pass. Rawls. He found Johnson, who was stuffed, and the held ball will allow Aurora to keep it, but it will send us to the under-16 media timeout. 14:41 left in the contest with Aurora up 60-51. It's been the Cullen Rawls show at times here during the second half. The Spartans lead by 9. This is Aurora University men's basketball. .14:41 to play, 60-51. Aurora in front. They'll have the ball after the jump ball gave them possession back. They have 23 to shoot. No changes to their lineup. Hans has entered for Chisholm. Anamdu has headed to the bench as well for Pierce Arns for Wisconsin Lutheran. And Ben Lubbers has also entered the game as Isaiah Mellick has gone to the bench. Here's Madrigal. He's underneath. Finds Rawls for three on the wing. Got it. Rawls with 19. He's 7 of 11 from the field. Spartans back by 12. Warriors hustle it ahead. Lubbers now into the corner for Leering, who looks for help. Here's Arns. And now Hans on the wing. Around the perimeter again as it's into the hands of Leering. 10 to shoot. To the right wing for Arns, who tries to get inside. Cross-court pass. Hans was on the sideline. That's the 7th Wisconsin Lutheran turnover. We are exactly 6 minutes in to the second half with Aurora in front. 4th time they've led at halftime this season. They've won the previous 3. The 48 points in the first half, their second best half of the year, to only First half Tuesday against Asbury. Here's Rawls and one. You've got to be kidding. Colin Rawls unconscious right now for Aurora. A new career high of 21 and maybe another coming for the former Fall River High School Pirate. He has been sensational tonight and makes the and one. Aurora by 15, largest lead tonight as Chisholm replaces Arns. There is Leering bringing it down the near side. There is Hans. He's at the free throw line, pulls up there. There's a lot of help defense and not a lot of primary defense on that last sequence. Everyone backed off down the lane, and an easy jumper ends the 8-0 run. It's still a 5-possession lead. Madrigal now looking for help. He gets fouled at the free throw line. Are they going to call that a foul on the floor? It's on Wagner, and it's the 5th Wisconsin Lutheran team foul. So I guess they're saying it was a late whistle. So it was not on the shot. It was elsewhere. We'll see Bryce Apple check in as Wagner heads off. No one in the game has more than a couple of fouls at this point. But the Warriors only have 2 more to give. Ball in the lane. Hilmer, he'll calmly dish it to Johnson, who was crashing the glass. The freshman calmly lays it in and has 9. Aurora's back up by 15. Hans on the wing for the Warriors. Around the arc to Chisholm for 3. No good. And Richardson got the rebound and floats a pass ahead to Johnson, who will start the transition. He gets to the block. Too firm on the layup attempt, and the rebound for Wisconsin Lutheran. Warriors trying to take advantage as the ball comes to Chisholm. Leering, pick and pop to Apple for 3, and it's good. 7 for Apple, one off his career best. The 6'6" freshman trying to bring Wisconsin Lutheran a little closer. 12-11 left. Spartans by 12 as Madrigal walks it over in front of his bench. Now dribbles underneath, throws a pass out that was denied by Leering and into the hands of Lubbers. 3-on-2 the other way. Lubbers to the rim and missed. Hilmer gets the rebound and was fouled by Leering. Well, there's been a few instances of Wisconsin Lutheran missing at the cup, and it's been costly. Foul was, as I mentioned, on Leering. That is his 3rd. It's the 5th Wisconsin Lutheran team foul, and it will bring us to the under-12 media timeout. 11:53 left, 68-56 Aurora. Our broadcast tonight presented by BSN Sports, by Chick-fil-A in Oswego. Kaufman GMC in Aurora. Elite Management Properties, Raising Cane's in Oswego, and Rush Orthopedics and Sports Medicine in Aurora and Yorkville. 11:53 to play. Aurora trying to snap a 9-game skid against Wisconsin Lutheran and up by a dozen. Spartans have the ball after the Wisconsin Lutheran foul at 68-56. Doby, Rawls, Madrigal, Johnson, and Richardson are the Spartans' 5. Here is Rawls walking it up to Doby on the wing. He'll feed Richardson in the low post. Couple of right-handed dribbles and works it up top to Doby. 10 to shoot as Rawls has it now. Back to Doby up top. A shake, a drive. He was stripped and it went off his knee. That'll be Warriors basketball. Mellick inbounding, Hill on the floor, Chisholm, Leering, and Apple. That's the Warriors' 5. Chisholm has the ball in front of his bench. Gets a screen from Apple, goes to the free throw line, tries to back down Johnson into a fall away. That's really good, folks. I don't know what else to say. Johnson did everything you can ask. Sometimes the offense is better. And Chisholm has 16. Warriors down 10 now. Rawls gets a toss and a 3. No good there. And the rebound tied up. Richardson managed to tie that ball up with one hand. Ends up tossing Apple to the ground. It's Warriors basketball. And now we'll see Grismola replace Rawls. And what I suspect will be the final breather for the junior here tonight. Aurora, another scoreless stretch. The last 5 have gone to Wisconsin Lutheran. Over 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Aurora trying to finish the game. Johnson took a big screen in the backcourt. It's 5-on-4. Leering drives and Richardson picks up the foul. That is Richardson's second, team's second. Johnson had absolutely no idea the screen from Apple was coming. I accidentally made a hockey reference earlier. That looked a little more like what you might see in that game. And now they're going to go to the monitor, and they're going to review something. I'm not sure if it's the foul on Richardson or if they're reviewing the screen. Whatever it was quick. It must have been on the foul on Richardson. Well, Bryce Apple and the official having a laugh. I think everyone having a laugh here. (68-59), first free throw's good. Told there might have been a push afterwards that they wanted to review. Here's the second toss, that's also good. Not much there. It's 68-60. That's 7 straight for Wisconsin Lutheran. They were down by as many as 15. In fact, it's all 7 since that. Grismola. Way back to Doby, who's at the volleyball line. He tries to break down Chisholm, gets to the rim. Missed there. Richardson gets the board, goes back up. He missed. Doby rips the rebound away. Ball is still up for grabs, and it comes to Mellick. All the hustle's been there. Then Doby gets back into the play. A wolf tip. How was that not a travel? Either way, it comes to Grismola. Aurora's glad it's not a travel. As Johnson lays it in. My goodness. And Richardson with a block. It came right back to Leering. Dumped it off to Apple underneath it at 70-62. Oh, strange sequence all around, and now we're into the final quarter of this game. Aurora up 8, 9:37 and counting to play. There's Madrigal. Pulls up at the block. No. A rebound for Hill. Quickly ahead, Mellick gets to the cup, stuffed with authority by Richardson. None shall pass. as the junior sends that into the Wisconsin Lutheran bench. The 5th Aurora block. Richardson alone accounting for 3 of those. Inbound to Chisholm. Goes to work on Doby. Doby reached in and is called for the foul. 3rd team foul, and it should put Chisholm at the line. It's Doby's 3rd. Not really worried about that at this point. Lubbers in, Mellick out for Wisconsin Lutheran. Rawls and Hilmer return to the game for Aurora as Johnson and Grismola go to the bench. First free throw from Chisholm is good. He has 17. Matches Trey Leering for the team high. They all trail Cullen Rawls, whose career high 22, is pacing the points column. Second toss left short. Richardson pulls down the rebound. That's number 10. To go along with 4 points. Rawls into the front court for Aurora. Hilmer's out on the perimeter. Really nice game for Hilmer. 10 points, 6 rebounds, and good that he's back in after that head-to-head contact with Chisholm earlier. Doby walks through the lane and out to the volleyball line as the shot clock rolls down to 5. Doby got a screen into a 3. Good. 9 for Doby on 4 of 7 from the floor. He has been impactful for AU tonight. Puts him back up by 10. Dom underneath the rim. Chisholm. I think that was tipped by Doby, and then Chisholm couldn't secure it. So active hands for the junior from Rockford. Wins the ball back for Aurora after the 9th Warriors turnover. 8:33 left. 73-63, the Spartans' advantage. Their season high for points is 84. Plenty of time to get to that and beyond. Hilmer has it on the wing. He'll work it up top to Richardson, and now Doby. Underneath, Hilmer off a screen, and it's goaltended by Chisholm. It went through anyway, but Hilmer will collect the 2 points. A dozen for him, a new season high for the Wheaton Academy alum. AU back up by 12. They weather the Wisconsin Lutheran Storm and answer with a few of their own. Leering finds a Namdu on the wing. He just replaced Hill and dribbles into the lane. Finds a trailing Lubbers who didn't get it to the rim again. And then Richardson is in some distress as he needs a moment. 7:57 to play. He pops up. Seems like he's okay, but it will bring us to the under 8 officials timeout. Aurora up 75-63. Still work to do to close this out against the defending conference champs. This is Aurora University men's basketball. Aurora leading in men's basketball here at Thornton Gymnasium, 75-63. It looks like Wisconsin Lutheran on its way to a win in women's basketball. 6:37 left in Milwaukee, and the Warriors lead 53-29. Work is not finished for Aurora. They have Rawls, Doby, Madrigal, Hilmer, and Richardson on the floor to begin this next sequence. They've gotten themselves a 12-point advantage. Doby drives. Good look, Hilmer underneath for 2. Third assist for Doby. Aurora has 14 dimes tonight. They extend the lead to 14. 7.5 left. Chisholm off a screen. Driving. Good defense by Doby. Gets the miss. Rebound Madrigal. There have been a number of instances when Chisholm has been able to beat pretty good defense, but not that time. Madrigal off of a screen, looks to feed Richardson in the post. He got it there. Off the window, no. Hilmer soars in and gets the board. It's up top to Doby. He gets right back to the rim, and that goes. 11 for Doby, 5 with 10 or more for Aurora tonight. They lead by 16 for the first time tonight. Hans, a quick 3, no good. Leering gets the board, puts it back from the free throw line. 6:43 left, 79-65. Again, Wisconsin Lutheran has not shot the ball poorly. They're at 48%, and they're down by 14. Aurora's made it tough on them tonight. Doby on the perimeter. Feeds Madrigal with 10 to shoot. He walks it back to the volleyball line, to the logo with 6. Richardson pulls away. 3. Here's a step back 3 from Madrigal. Doesn't go. Warriors with the rebound, and Leering brings it ahead. He's on the far side, around the screen into a jumper, didn't find the iron. Rebound for Rawls, who then is hammered by Melick. And that's the 7th? No, that's the 6th Wisconsin Lutheran team foul. Their final to give here in the second half. We'll see Hill and Wagner check in, replacing Apple and Chisholm. Melick, Leering, and Hans remain on the floor. Doby will come off for Zarek Johnson for Aurora. Likely Doby's final break tonight. Rawls into the front court. He'll bounce a pass to Richardson in the short corner. He faces up with Wagner and is doubled. Finds Johnson in the lane. No, but the miss came right to Hilmer crashing the glass, and he puts it in. 16 for Hilmer. He's one off his career high. There's 5.5 minutes left. Aurora's up by 16. Leering up top to Melick on the wing. A step fake into a 3. Back iron, long rebound. And Leering gets under it to Hans for a deep 3. Rattles out. This time Richardson secures it. First one, not a great look. The second one was very wide open. Neither of them fall. Madrigal, the crossover into a 3, banks it in. They're open late tonight in Aurora. Madrigal has 20 tonight. Aurora by 19 with under 5 to play. Melick gets to the block, high off the window and good. Had to be high off the window with Richardson on him. The Warriors get an answer. They are running out of time, down 17 with 4.5 minutes left. Aurora's made 8 threes tonight, including the last one from Madrigal, who has the ball up top. He gets to the block, to his right, then to his left, and hits it falling away. He matches Rawls for the game high with 22. Oh, a really good play by Madrigal. It's a 3 from Leering, no. Rawls gets the rebound. Long down the floor to Hilmer behind everyone. To the rim, and 1. It's Aurora by 21. Hilmer has a career high 18. It's all Spartans as we come to the final media timeout. 3:53 left, 88-67 Spartans. This is Aurora University men's basketball. Aurora has set its season high in points with 3:53 remaining. They lead 88-67. And they would appear poised to even their conference record and end a 9-game skid to Wisconsin Lutheran. Aurora has been extremely impressive tonight. 57% from the floor, 8 of 15 from three. They're 12 of 13 at the line. They've only had 2 trips prior to this and one for Hilmer coming up since halftime. Hilmer made a couple earlier. He has 18, 7 boards. It'll stay on 18 as the rebound rims out. Aurora has to sustain the emotion for another 4 minutes to close this one out. The Warriors need a lot in not a lot of time. They fake the handoff, and then Wagner rumbles down the lane, up and in for 2. Madrigal, Rawls, Doby, Hilmer, Richardson are the 5 here for this last sequence. Rawls has the ball as Hill comes out to get him. Rawls drives and will get to the line for 2. It's the 8th team foul on Wisconsin Lutheran. It's the 3rd on Hill. Aurora, again, I mentioned earlier, in the top 10 in the nation in free throw makes and attempts per game this season. Rawls misses the first. This isn't anywhere near the averages here tonight. They were on pace for it a little bit earlier, but they've been able to get it done in a lot of different ways, and when they can do that and get to the line, they can really have a special day. The Namdu for 2, just 6 points for the sophomore, makes it 89-71. 3:06 left. Rawls takes a look to the bench, gets the call, and puts it in motion. A pass to Richardson was tipped. The junior goes out to get it, and now we'll toss it to Madrigal with 10. He stands behind the volleyball line around a screen, into a jumper on the elbow, and it's good, and the foul. Chisholm made contact. Madrigal has 24 and a chance to add the 3-point play. He converts. It's 92-71, and that should eliminate all doubt. 25, 6, and 3 for Madrigal tonight. Is a 3 missed. Madrigal gets the rebound, so make it 25 and 7. Ahead to Rawls, who gets to the block. He'll lay it in. How about 25 for Rawls as well? 4 rebounds, 5 dimes. And then 18 and 7 for Hilmer. Chisholm for 3. That's good. Too little, too late for the Warriors as Aurora brings second team to the bench. Rather than the scorer's table. A 20-point lead, 2:05 left. Rawls is on the perimeter. Now Richardson will bring the ball out. Madrigal takes it with 11. He sizes uphill with 5 to shoot, spins and lost the ball. It's free. Madrigal gets a 3 up. It goes and it won't count. Madrigal pointing, he wants it. And I think he knows that was after the horn, but boy, when it's your night, isn't it? My goodness. The reserves have come off. Gone back to the bench. Here's Chisholm. He'll get to the line for 2. 94-74, minute 34 left. Aurora will move to 4-3. A very impressive victory tonight over the reigning league champs. And Wisconsin Lutheran falling to 2-5. They lose their league opener. It looked like they maybe had turned the corner. They were much better defensively, 39% from the floor, 30% from deep over their 2 wins after getting torched at 48 and 37 respectively. on that 4-game skid. They were shooting free throws better. It all seemed to be trending in the right direction. And Aurora put ice on all of that tonight. They do turn it over here after Chisholm split a couple of free throws. Then Rawls tries to win the ball back, ends up sitting on the Wisconsin Lutheran bench for a moment. It's Warriors ball with 1:17 left. Good momentum for Aurora as they're going to be taking on a team that certainly had a lot to feel good about earlier in their league opener. Illinois Tech, they're closing in on starting league play 1-0. 88-74, they lead with 1:51 left. Nicholas Ortiz went for 23 on 10 of 12 from the floor. The Scarlet Hawks put 5 in double digits tonight, and then had 2 more players with 9 and 8 respectively. Aurora ball, final minute. Doby on the far side. Gets to the rim, and the finger roll just fell off the iron. I think it was halfway down. Rebound Wagner to Chisholm in transition. Goes up for the one-handed dunk, and Richardson wouldn't allow it. Loose ball comes to Anamdu in the corner, who drains it. It's 94-78, 28 seconds left. The shot clock's off. Aurora really just has to get it over the timeline. They do. The Warriors will apply one more foul. I'm not sure Aaron Annenson necessarily wanted with 19 seconds left. But it'll put Rawls on the line for 2 shots after the 10th Warriors team foul. It will be a 1 o'clock start on Saturday for Aurora against Illinois Tech. First free throw good here. Wisconsin Lutheran at home to Lakeland, who Scarlet Hawks just played and are in the process of finishing off. It's also a 1 o'clock start. Second free throw good. Make it 96-78. And Rawls is 27 tonight. Here's a bucket and 1 for Dom Hill with 14 seconds left. Madrigal gave the foul. Aurora 57% from the floor, 8 of 15 from 3, 15 of 18 at the line. Wisconsin Lutheran a respectable 47% on 71 field goal attempts. 5 of 20 from deep and 7 of 10 at the line. The and one free throw goes. Aurora brings it over center court. Fans clap. Coaches meet at center court for the handshake. 2 coaches that have a lot of respect for each other. Aurora could hardly miss. It's been a while since they've knocked off Wisconsin Lutheran. They do it tonight. 96-81 the final score. Career highs all over for Aurora. 27 points on 9 of 14 from the field for Cullen Rawls. 25 for Juan Madrigal on 9 of 15. 18 for Jeffrey Hilmer on 8 of 9 from the floor. Makai Doby and Zarek Johnson add 11 points each. Not career highs, but still very impressive performances. And then Devin Richardson, 4 points, 12 boards. Only 6 players scored for Aurora. That's all they needed to put up 96 in the win. Jaquel Chisholm had 21, a new career high for him, plus 7 boards. Trey Leering added a career best 19 plus 5 rebounds. But not enough for the Warriors in tonight's loss. Xavier Zuckley was on the camera today. Our technical director was Isaac Perez. Thanks to the AU Athletic Communications and Facilities teams here at Thornton Gymnasium for their efforts putting this one on tonight. And to all of you for watching this Wednesday night. An impressive win for Aurora, 96-81 the final. Back here on Saturday at 1 o'clock against Illinois Tech. My name is Sean Fry. We hope to see you on Saturday. This has been Aurora University men's basketball. Good night, everyone.